Hi, this is Jean from Ed and Jean's Quilt Shop, and today we're going to show you how to make a fractured quilt. So it takes 12 fat quarters of different colors, and today we have chosen Banyan Batik Northcott Batiks. And you can see that our fat quarter stack is layered between light and dark so that our quilt will be just beautiful. So today we're going to use a template and we're going to cut the layered batiks, and you know batiks are made with a wax chop and they're beautifully colored. So first we're going to take a ruler and we're going to cut off the edges of our template. We have created two templates so that one can be a place where the stacks are placed. This is a shuffled quilt, so the 12 fat quarters are shuffled, and then 12 blocks will be made from the 12 fat quarters. So carefully remove the edges of the batiks and set aside. These can be used later to create a piano key border. Ed is stabilizing the ruler so that he can make a very nice sharp cut. But with this quilt, you will be amazed that even though this is a large template, remember the scant quarter-inch seams will take it in. And once you have completed each block, that is when you will square your block up. So don't square up your block as you go. You will square it up after every block is sewn. You will notice that we have pre-made 1 to 10 on painter's tape identification for each individual stack of blocks. Ed is now going to complete cutting the sides of the quilt fabric so that it will be a nice even square. You can see how pretty this material is, and it's from Northcott and it's called Banyan Batik. It's quite a beautiful collection. So you can see now Ed has removed all the edges of this large square, and then he will begin to cut each section individually, and then we will show you how to stack these with shuffling. It comes out with a beautiful pattern of each block looks like a stained glass window. So you can see that Ed is stabilizing the ruler. He's using the Martelli mat. We enjoy them so much in the shop, and this is a Martelli rotary blade as well. It really makes it easy to cut through even up to 15 layers, and this is 12 layers right now. So you can see how he gently moved the stack aside so that he could get in with the ruler to cut the other areas of the block. You can see that he stabilizes the rotary cutter up against the beautifully laid ruler on top of each stack. And this is 12 layers of fabric, so the Martelli rotary blade quickly goes through each layer. And you can see that he's individually cutting each piece, and then he will be placing them onto the other template that will remind him which stack goes where. So you can see how Ed is going to place the stacks onto the identified numbered pre-made template. And we have this in our store at Ed and Jean's Quilt Shop, and we would just love to have you come to Deer Park and we could actually get you set up to do this pattern. It's an old pattern that was passed on to us. Nobody could find the name, so we're enjoying passing it on to you. So he's again stabilizing the ruler and making his cut. The nice thing about the rotary ruler, the rotary cutter from Martelli, is that you're able to make very precise cuts and not cut into your mat. And cutting into the mat when you cut sideways actually wears your mat out. The nice thing about the Martelli mat is that it cannot warp. If it does warp, you can put warm water on it and it'll flatten out. We've really enjoyed this in the store. So here again, Ed is making some of the last cuts with the rotary cutter using the Creative Grids rulers. We really like those because they slip very little. They have built-in non-slip grids. Again, you want to layer your fabric. So some of this is dark medium, dark light, dark medium, dark light, but that's going to make for a beautiful stained glass appearing block when you've completed it. So here Ed is making his last cut with precision so that he can shuffle his fabrics. So now Ed is going to show you how to shuffle. He will bring that over closer there. Okay, you can see that he has cut up his numbers, and yes, they're upside down to you, but 1A to 10D. He's removing the fabric, and then he will be according to each number. So 1A, you put 1 at the bottom of the stack. On 2A, he's going to put 2 at the bottom of the stack and remove the paper. Now if you're unable to cut 12 layers, you can cut 2 piles of 6. And actually with this quilt, you can make as many blocks as you wish. Every block requires 1 fat quarter, and then when you shuffle it, you've got that beautiful stained glass window look. So as he will continue to shuffle these, you will see that the blocks come out with a beautiful look of the stained glass. He's now labeling each piece because that's going to be really important when you're sewing your block back together. When I first started quilting, I wondered, why do people cut up beautiful fabric and then sew it back together? But I've learned so many wonderful techniques that's really helped me to understand the beauty of it all. And then if you get mixed up with your stacking, just make sure each block has a different piece on the front so that you can see the stained glass window. So he'll continue to work his way through shuffling the pieces. So each number on the template is how many you will put underneath the stack at that time. And then he's labeling it. So I'm going to give you a close-up of this Martelli rotary cutter. It is kind of small, but it fits in your hand. It's economic for your hand, so that makes your hand not get so tired with cutting. And then you are able to use your hand and your action of your shoulder to make really nice cuts. So you can see as he's building this quilt block how the varied colors are working and how nice it is that you were able to have a variety of colors from just 12 fat quarters, just the way it's cut and stacked. And this is kind of a tedious but very important part of making the fractured quilt. The nice thing about this Martelli mat is it's reversible. So you've got the same thing on each side. This is the lavender side, and there's also a yellow side, so it depends on what's going to fit you best. So you can see here the block is developing so that the colors will just be varied, and it makes a very nice looking quilt. And once you get going on it, it's really pretty fast. But it's very important that you use the scant 1/4 inch so that you can have a very consistent seam line. Otherwise, you'll end up with one block bigger than the other or several different sizes. So that's something to really keep in mind. There's a lot of useful tools as far as keeping the scant 1/4 inch. And sometimes people just put a piece of painter's tape alongside their presser foot just to make it easier so that they can keep that scant 1/4 inch going. So you can see he's got some light worked into it now, which gives a nice variety. So you see the light and the dark.